Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Pat's Travel Pass. We're flying SAS Star Alliance carrier over to Copenhagen and on to Amsterdam. Come join us. It's going to be a good one. We'll be on SAS's flagship A350-900 in economy class today. I think we're all the way back in row 50, and we got a boys trip on our hands today going over to Amsterdam and then on to Sweden and Denmark to complete it. You'll be seeing a few videos that go along with the series, so glad to have you aboard. This is my first time at LAX International, specifically flying international, since 2019, so I had to go check out the new gates, Tom Bradley West. Got to get a sweet view of our A350 landing in from Copenhagen. After a beer and a pretzel, did some plane spotting, seeing all of the aircraft coming into LAX, one of the best spots, including Emirates' A380. We got Qantas towing over the A380. Our aircraft, the A350, taking us over all the way to Denmark. In short order, it is time to board out of gate 159 all the way at the end. Some quick stats on the flight. We did pay cash for this economy fare, about $700 round trip in economy. We did pay for the extra to bring a checked bag along. It is cheaper than paying at the airport, so I do recommend that if you are checking a bag. And here we get our first look at the economy layout in a 333 configuration. A pillow and water bottle on the seat is a warm welcome. They do have these nice pockets behind the seat that I thought were really useful, and fingers crossed this middle seat stays open after we took our seats in row 50. Plenty of space though if you are missing that middle seat. Seat is designed pretty well with that cup holder and then tray table being able to be a half or full. And here we go, my buddy is stoked to try out this new airline and first time ever flying an A350 for both of us. The tail cameras are always a nice pleasure to see. I know they're famously shown on the A380. And then we had the longest pushback I have ever seen. I thought we were never going to stop. Now, SAS is kind of known as a budget airline, as they do charge for seat selection and extra baggage, among other things. But as long as you wait until 24 hours in advance and keep an eye on the seating map, you can actually snag a really good seat at the end. At least for the baggage, we prepaid for it, as we saw that to be the most economical way, so that's what I'd recommend. Free headphones passed out to everyone on the flight, which was a nice touch, especially in economy, as we made our way over the Nevada desert. You can see there's a couple solar farms. One thing with SAS that I really liked is that they put the different menu types up on the screen in front of you, so you could really see what you're in for. You also had an option to order the premium meal for a price of, I think, 29 euros. I'll show you on our little connector flight where we paid for it if it was worth it. But about an hour in, we started with a drink service. I went for a Coke as this was an afternoon evening flight, and then we were served dinner. There was no choice in the entree. We were just provided this beef goulash along with a chocolate mousse, a salad, a bread roll, and crackers with cheese. Actually, the food was pretty good compared to some American carriers, so I was actually nice to see that. One thing to keep in mind is when you have your aux cord for your headphones, it does dangle while you're trying to eat. So if you're trying to watch a movie, it is kind of difficult. And then hot take here, best coffee in the air, without a doubt. We tried it on the long haul as well as the short haul, and the black coffee was the best. Let's then take a dive into the in-flight entertainment. As we see here, plenty of options from the West as well as Europe. I personally loved watching Shawshank Redemption on this flight. And then we took a bathroom review. Nothing special here, pretty standard. At times there was a line, but I only got up once during the whole flight. And then we love the mood lighting of the A350. It reminds me of the new Boeing planes like the 787 and the 737. But overall, the cabin was extremely quiet. Sleeping was no problem on this flight. Also, the pressurization, you could really feel that there was more humidity in the cabin. So when we woke up, we actually felt pretty good compared to some of the older planes. We then were served a second hot meal, no choice again, just a breakfast sandwich with an orange juice. Personally, I was unsure if we would even get a second meal, given that SAS is known as a budget airline, so I was pretty happy to see it. After 10 or so hours, it was time to make our descent into Copenhagen. And overall, I would highly recommend SAS as an airline, especially in economy, if you're looking for a cheaper option with good connections into Northern Europe especially. I was really happy with the product, both on the ground, in flight, the hard product, the soft product. It was all really good. The flight attendants were all really nice. They came around to offer coffee and tea for free quite a bit. There are no alcoholic beverages included in your ticket, but honestly, when you're trying to sleep, I would recommend just sticking to tea and water. But yeah, overall, I would highly recommend it. It's really good value for your dollar, I'd say. Now this was the long haul portion of our flight. We did have a solid 2 hours in Copenhagen before a connector on to Amsterdam. That'll all be in this single review coming up next, as I didn't really want to break it up into two. But Copenhagen Airport, honestly, really solid. Plenty of lounges if you have priority pass. We actually found ourselves at one in between to get a little bite to eat as well as a beverage. But I would, on the long haul, seek out the A350s. I know that, at least from the West Coast, SFO tends to be A330 versus LAX tends to be A350. So I would actually go out of my way to go to LAX to get that A350 because it really helps with sleeping and then just quietness of the cabin. More modern too. But here's our short haul. We actually were able to snag exit row in that 24-hour window before the flight for free. And then the overhead air vents I welcomed back, considering the long haul flight did not have it. Quick taxi and takeoff, and we were on our way. Quick look at the menu, as they have plenty of options for purchase on board. As I mentioned, we did buy the premium meal. I think it was €13. But of course had to get the best coffee after a red-eye flight to wake back up. And then we have a look at the beef option. That is how they break up the options. I think it's vegetarian, chicken, and beef. I went with the beef while my buddy went with the chicken. Pretty much cold cuts, some potato salad, some hummus, and then some pickled red onion with some crackers. It was really good. It actually felt kind of refreshing and really helped with kind of getting into that groove of European time and not too heavy. But a quick flight and we landed in Schiphol, and that is a review of SAS from LAX all the way to Amsterdam. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.